All right, we are live. Hello, everyone. Welcome to our first ever go-to-market demo day. Today, we're focusing on sales acceleration software, and we're so happy that everyone is here with us today. I'm your host, Chantal. I support the webinar strategy at Storylane, and I'm joined by Jackson, my co-host. Jackson, can you introduce yourself real quick?
Sure thing. I'm Jackson, account executive at Storylane. Do everything go-to-market and customer-facing.
Awesome. So as I mentioned, today we're focusing on tools that drive efficiency in the sales process, and we're sort of exploring sales acceleration from a few different angles. Today we'll be joined by Justin from AssetMule. We're going to be talking to Rahul from Next Quarter, and we're talking to Danny from Journey.io, and we'll also be getting a demo from Chili Piper from Allan. Quick logistical note, if you're in the audience and you have any questions, the chat should be all the way to the right of your screen. So feel free to chat in, and we'd love to hear questions. At the end of every demo, we're going to take one question from the audience, and we're going to serve it to the speaker. So if you want to have your question answered, feel free to drop it in that event chat. And without further ado, I think we can just dive right in. So I'm going to bring Danny to the stage from AssetMule. Oh, I'm sorry, Justin, not Danny. All right, come on stage.
Hey everyone, how's it going? Awesome to be here. Thanks for having me. I'm going to go ahead and share my screen and we'll dive right into the demo.
Awesome, take it away.
Cool. All right, so you should be able to see my screen. So yeah, super excited to be here and to give you guys a tour of AssetMule. Before we dive in, just a very quick, what is AssetMule and how does it help accelerate sales cycles? So AssetMule is essentially a platform for creating personalized, interactive, and trackable sales assets. Because these assets are personalized and interactive, we've seen them increase engagement with buyers by upwards of 90% versus static PDFs, really helping turn prospects into champions and drive the sales process forward. And because they're trackable, they deliver sales folks really incredible insights on who's engaging with their assets so that they can prioritize the right accounts, but also how they're engaging with those assets and what's interesting them, right? What's resonating with them so that they can best move these deals forward. Best thing of all these sales assets can be created in minutes and without any designers or developers. So super easy for a product marketer or a sales rep to create their own assets. So that's the quick spiel on AssetMule, but let's dive right in. And what I'll show you today is how to build a couple of templates in AssetMule, starting with our own sort of base templates that you can build from. I'll show you how to create your own custom templates as well. And then I'll show you how you can then use those templates to create personalized assets that you can then share with prospects and track engagement. So what you're seeing on your screen right now is our template library at AssetMule. And you'll see a bunch of templates that you can build from the get-go. So one-pagers and case studies and competitive comparison pages, decks, proposals, you name it. Today, I'll start by showing you how to build from one of our one-pagers with videos. But I will then also show you how to create your own custom template. So this is the one-pager with video. And the first thing that you'll want to do here is probably add your own brand colors and fonts to this template. And you'll see I've already done that. We call that a theme. I've done that for AssetMule. But for creating your own theme, we make it super simple. Again, no need for any designers. All you have to do is actually put in your website URL. So for instance, let's say I'm LinkedIn. I can put in linkedin.com. And just in a matter of seconds, I can see LinkedIn's colors applied to this template. So really easy to get it on brand. But for this demo, I'm going to use the AssetMule theme, and I'm going to go through as if I'm building a template for AssetMule. Next thing I want to do is probably add my content to the template, right, to make it my own. So starting with logos, I can add my company logo here. I can easily upload it from my drive. But again, especially for prospect and customer logos, instead of having to go to Google, find that logo, download it, upload it, format it, and all that crazy stuff, all you have to do is just put in your website URL, and we'll fetch logos for you. And same thing goes again, I'll give you the example of LinkedIn here. If I put linkedin.com, I get a bunch of logos I can choose from. Continuing down the template, I can replace my placeholder copy over here with my own copy. I can add my video in here, a demo video or something like that, putting in a Loom or YouTube video or one of these a link from one of these supported platforms. But AssetMule also has this really interesting concept that we call snippets, where as you're building out your templates, you can save all these micro bits of content as snippets that you can pull from for the future. And the benefit here is you can really speed up the process of building these templates, but also as you're creating assets, you can swap things in and out and personalize them with pre-approved, pre-existing content. So for instance, with this sort of value statement here, I can open up my snippet library, maybe filter by positioning statements and pull in the one that I want to use. For the demo video, I can pull in, up my demo video sort of gallery and pull in the one that I want to use. And just one more example here, customer logos, I can go ahead and maybe I have logos organized by different industry. I can pull the one that I want to use. And you can see just how quickly you can start building out your template. But as I mentioned, you don't have to just rely on our templates. You can go and create your own custom template. So let me show you how that works. So on the templates page, I can click create template. And now I can start with a blank canvas here and I can start building my own custom template. And I do this by starting with a column, or a section. I'm going to add a one column section here. And maybe I'll add my brand colors to start here. And then these icons that you see here all represent what we call pre-designed components. So things such as headers and quotes and images and videos that you can pull into the canvas and start populating with your content. So for instance, I can put that personalized logo, that logo for logo set up. And again, add the AssetMule logo over here. And in this case, I'm actually going to leave this one blank so that anybody who wants to use this template can put their prospect's logo in there. Next, I may want to add another section. And this time I want to do a header and a subhead, and I want to center it and add sort of my main value prop here. Now, I know we're doing a Storylane GTM day, so I want to show you something really cool where you can actually add an embed code component here and add your Storylane demo into your asset. So, you can even save a full library of many different Storylane demos and pull in the right one based on the use case that you want to show this particular prospect, right? And right in your asset, instead of a static image or even a demo video, you can have an interactive Storylane demo here. Now, just to sort of build this out really quickly and just show you how quickly you can pull these things together, I'm going to pull in the logos, and then I'll maybe pull in some pricing information here. And again, I can populate this stuff with content, but again, if I've saved different pricing plans, I can just pull it in very easily. And I'll do one last one here, and then we'll go ahead and show how to share this thing. Another example of the embed code component is you can pull in your Calendly or Chili Piper or HubSpot calendar, again, so that your prospect can actually book a meeting with your sales team directly from the asset. So again, just showing you how quickly and without any design skills or resources, I can pull up this asset, pull this together, save it as a template for my sales team to use, and they can sort of personalize it and send it out and track it. So let's show that final step here. So if I were a salesperson, let's say I'm a salesperson at AssetMule, I can come into my AssetMule account. I can look at all the templates that I have access to from my team, and I can choose, let's say in this case, I want to build a template or an asset using the AssetMule interactive one-pager. I can create an asset from that template. And because my team members, maybe my product marketer has already built this out mostly for me, all the content's in here for me to use, but maybe I can do some last mile personalization. So I can put in my prospect's logo in here. As I showed previously, let's say I'm building this for Storylane, that's my prospect. I can put storylane.io in here to get a bunch of logos and choose the right one. Maybe there's some placeholder copy for me to replace in here. So instead of prospect, I put Storylane in here. And then coming back to that concept of snippets, maybe this quote here, it's a great quote, but maybe it's not a great quote for my particular prospect, right? Maybe this is more for a sales team. I'm selling to a product marketer. So I can pull up that snippet library of quotes, maybe filter by product marketing, and choose a much better quote for the specific use case or persona that I'm selling to. And then now that this looks good, I can go ahead and give this a name. So let's call it AssetMule for Storylane. I can save the asset, and then now I can grab a link to share with the prospect and track when they engage with the asset. So now let's pretend I'm the prospect, and I received an email with this link to this asset. So I'm going to load it up here, and this is what they'll see when it loads up. They'll see that personalized Storylane AssetMule for Storylane assets with the interactive product demo that they can step through, really to get a feel for what AssetMule is and how it's going to add value for me. They can go through here and they can see that personalized quote that I swapped in here. And then finally, they can access my calendar and book a meeting with me, or even click a book a meeting button to pull up Calendly directly and book a meeting with me. And as I mentioned, all of these actions are being tracked by AssetMule. So what the salesperson will receive is, in their inbox, they'll receive an email notification like this that says, hey, somebody just viewed your AssetMule for Storylane assets. So there's some interest, there's some intrigue there. But also in AssetMule, we'll give you a full timeline of all the actions that they took on the page. So they viewed the asset, then they clicked on that embed in the third section, first column. So that was the interactive product demo. Then they clicked on the embed in the 16th section, first column. That was the calendar widget. And then finally, they clicked on the book a meeting button. And again, these insights are incredibly powerful. If you think about the old world of sending these static, generic PDFs, maybe that nobody even opened, right? But even if they did, you never even knew if they did, right? Compared to being able to see that they actually engaged with your assets and what they did on the page, you can really determine which accounts to prioritize based on who's showing those buying signals, but also how best to follow up with them. Maybe they checked out that Storylane demo, and that shows that they're interested in scheduling a real demo, or maybe you should follow up with a couple of different examples of workflows and use cases, sending some other Storylane demos. So that's the quick walkthrough of AssetMule, and again, how you can really engage your buyers and accelerate your sales cycles with personalized interactive sales assets. In terms of if this is something that you want to use, obviously you're going to receive our Storylane demo that you can check out. But also, if you go to assetmule.ai, we have a free version of the product, a forever free version, and you can sign up, give AssetMule a go, and we'd love to hear how you're using it and help you in any way we can. So that's AssetMule, and happy to answer any questions you guys may have.
Amazing. We do have one audience question, but we have a little bit of extra time because you were so efficient. Yeah. So I want to serve you one question before we move to the audience. I'm curious if you can describe the dream scenario of how a team might use this, and your best customer. What are the outcomes that they're driving with AssetMule?
Great question. So I would say the sort of ideal customer for us is usually an earlier stage startup, let's say Series A and earlier, where you maybe have one product marketer on the team, no design resources, and a growing sales team. Maybe they just raised their Series A, right? And the sales team is growing, but the marketing and the design resources are really small, right? And they're just being overwhelmed with the amount of requests for sales assets. So that's where AssetMule really provides enormous value, because instead of having to get an outsourced designer that's going to cost maybe $1,000 per asset and take weeks to deliver these more generic static PDFs, it's a more dynamic sort of collaboration between that product marketer, where they're able to spin up these templates, and then salespeople can actually personalize and self-serve from there. So I would say the benefits that they're experiencing is sort of the cost savings in terms of not having to outsource design, the time and flexibility in building these personalized assets, and then just the impact that a more personalized and engaging experience that a buyer gets from these personalized assets has on driving engagement and speeding up sales cycles, increasing win rates, and so on.
Love that. Okay, Jackson, what's our question from the audience?
Yeah, so I'm seeing this question from Carlea. I'm also going to add my spin on it as a salesperson. So Carlea asked, in your example of the pricing template, if I have that living on my website, would it not? What would be the value of not just sending that link to the specific page on the site? So for me as a salesperson, I see the added benefit of the interactivity of the AssetMule demo, AssetMule link, better branding, more customization, snippets, better engagement data, but also you have to take them from the email into another page. So what is the added benefit of not just, loading up your follow-up email with a lot of hyperlinks and PDFs and attaching? Like, what would you say to the salesperson that's kind of on the fence about transitioning to this other type of, sales asset?
A really good question, actually. The first time I've heard that one. But specifically, I'll say, first of all, there's a template that you could use here where you could actually, it's a single page template where you have a little bit of an intro, and then you can actually aggregate a bunch of links. And some of these can be AssetMule assets. Some of these can be links to your case studies on your website. Some of them can be links to your Zoom recording from the demo that you did with them. And you can build these out with the prospect as you're proceeding down the sales process, right? So this sort of answers that question of maybe a single link, a single page that you can send your prospect, and then aggregate all the information that they want. But in terms of like stuff on your website, your stuff on your website is probably a little bit more generic, right? And again, is maybe useful. So maybe you do want to include it as a couple of the links on this what we call an asset hub asset. But the sort of example that I shared with you allows you to really personalize it specifically for that prospect. You could put like a personalized demo video in there, or swap in the right quotes or the right stats or the right messaging and value props, right, for that particular prospect. And I think that would be the value over, let's say, a page on your website, which might speak to a persona, but not to that specific buyer, maybe what you discovered in that discovery call or the conversations that you've had with them so far. But again, using this template, you can sort of mix and match, right? Which is really, really useful. I know we're at time, so I'm gonna jump out here.
Hey, Chantal, I think you're muted right now.
No. Oh my gosh. I'm just talking to myself over here. I was just praising Justin on what a good demo he just gave, and letting everyone know that I dropped the link to AssetMule's interactive demo into the chat if they want to take a look. Next up, we have Rahul from next quarter. So I'm going to bring him to the stage, and then he's going to take it away. All right.
Hello, everyone. Excited to be here. My name is Rahul Shah. I'm the founder, CEO at Next Quarter. Been at it for the last 7 years, and excited to show you what we have. A lot of you in sales know that it's very important for us to understand our customer better. And what we have developed here at Next Quarter really is a really powerful engine to help you really drive that sustained growth. And how we do it is using generative AI to really tease out the insights you need to drive that consistent account growth. And you'll see through the process, there's a lot of things that salespeople want to do, but they don't get the time to do it, right? A lot of it is around creating the strategy for an account and understanding how do we position our company's products and offerings, and that's really where Next Quarter comes in. So as we think of AI is everywhere. And some of the AI is meant to replace what I call transactional sales efforts, but we're really here to accelerate your strategic sales motions. And how we do it is really there's a standard playbook of driving growth from customers. What we are doing is we're using AI to empower account executives, customer success, to really bring that to bear with the minimal lift on their side, because we all know that salespeople don't want to do a lot of legwork. But if we can surface these insights to them, then it's great. So I won't go through this in detail, but what you'll see here is the 3 things we're going to focus on in this demo is how do we help you create this understanding and research about your customers? And then more importantly, as you're sort of executing your sales motions and your strategy, how do we surface these white space insights, which is essentially what do I sell next using our AI and white space. So those are the 2 things I'm going to cover here in the next few minutes. As we all know, from a seller perspective, there's so much of research from an industry perspective, company perspective, but there's a lot of generic research out there. But how do we contextualize that is really where Next Quarter comes in. And our Gen AI really is built to ingest your collateral, your website, your case studies, and it really creates this persona of your best salesperson or your best solution executive. And now with that context, which is really important, right? Because now we're almost training the Gen AI to be your salesperson or a solution executive. We then do research on whatever is available out there in the public domain, and we augment that with certain specific databases we have. So we have a buyer intent database, we have job postings, and industry specific sort of data points that we can bring to bear. And I'll just show you how we put all this together. But the advantage of having something like this is it really automates data collection that would take a couple of people on a team to just produce a report for one customer. We can do it for multiple customers, in a matter of a couple of hours once the Gen AI model is trained. And the best thing is Gen AI today can tell you what the customer's initiatives are, where they're going, but it can't tell you how you as a company can align with that, which is where we've built our solution to really align with and give you recommendations of what you should do as a sales executive, account executive, or customer success. So let's dive into the platform here. What I'm going to do is show you, we can integrate the software across different platforms, but we're going to look at Salesforce here in this example. We're going to assume we are a seller for a company called DataSax, and you can see here I'm within Salesforce, within my account page. You can see this account growth, and what you'll see here is we've already done the research and we've created the strategic imperatives for the client. And once you want to understand how we've generated that research, we've loaded this research document on the site here. And what you'll be able to see here is it kind of gives this, with the training of the model, it gives you what are JP Morgan's top initiatives and how can we align as a seller, right? It then gives you a lot of context in the business overview. So it shows you different sections like the SWOT analysis, what are the top buying signals that show you where the client is heading, what is their tech roadmap, what is their overall vision and how they're competing in the marketplace. And then, people hate to read 10Qs and 10Ks, but we've got good news. We've summarized all of that so that when you're talking to your customer, you can be very aware of what they're doing in the marketplace and how they're doing financially. The last couple of sections here are really the strategic research in terms of what are the value drivers from your product, how do you displace your competitors, and how do you align with the stakeholders. So you can see here, all of this is produced with zero input from a sales executive. And imagine having something like this across all your clients. It's ready to kind of be published for every account you have, and we can refresh this data as often as you want. So going in here, you can see that I'm going to just hit on the benefit of what we put together. So here we've taken in the context of a database and infrastructure company, what are the top initiatives of this customer? So the first initiative is around digital transformation. So JP Morgan is trying to improve its customer experience. And then what we've done here is, because we have the ability to ingest all the collateral, we've summarized through all the collateral we collected. In this example, it was over 300 pieces of company collateral literature. And we have now recommended what's the best strategy, right? So what are the benefits of our product? And we can also give what are the case studies we can present for this customer, right? So it does that at scale. It now looks at the second initiative, the third initiative. So you'll see that we've got the top 10 initiatives. And then it not only shows you how you align with the customer, but it actually shows you for this first initiative around digital transformation, what are the assets of your company we've used to come up with that recommendation. And we can have links to those documents here. So you can see in this example for creating a recommendation around that digital transformation initiative, we've looked at a case study, we've looked at the pitch deck, we've looked at the marketing piece of collateral, and two use cases that we've done for similar clients. So you can now see that this is doing this at scale across the top initiatives for my customer. And these are really how you can speak the company language in terms of how you position your offerings to your customer. I'm not going to go through the whole document, but I'll hit on a couple of other key sections. This is sort of giving you that context and overview of JP Morgan in terms of how they're doing overall. and then the SWOT analysis for JP Morgan. So you can see here, it gives you a SWOT analysis of how you can position your products to JP Morgan. It's now then also giving you what are some of the key intent signals we're getting and from where we're getting those intent signals. So you can see here, it's giving you a host of solutions that we offer, and it's also showing you where that intent is coming from. The next section here, yes.
Hi, sorry to interrupt. Just wanted to give you a quick time check that you have until 11:30 to finish your demo.
Yep, thank you.
Great.
So you'll see that we have a lot of other sections here, and this is available to all the sellers. In terms of how we would use it in the platform is once you've created these initiatives, you'll be able to document them in Salesforce. So we've already created these initiatives, and from these initiatives, you can generate new opportunities, areas of interest, and collaborate on them. The last section I'm going to hit on really is the demand section. So here is where, now that from a strategic perspective, we've created some initiatives and opportunities, we now surface what we call our white space here. And the white space is continuously looking at intent signals out there, and it's recommending across all your products which are the ones that are best from a cross-sell perspective. So here we've got this offering called DataStax Astra. And when you click on it, it shows you historically what's the velocity of deals we've won, what's the average sales win ratio, and what are the intent topics surging. So once you see the stack rank, you can create recommendation ideas and convert them to opportunities. So this is how sales reps can live in this tool, understand what your customers are looking for, and create new opportunities to grow your business. I'll take a quick pause there, see if there's any questions.
Yeah, this was great, Rahul. I do have a question. I could see this saving me a ton of time researching, especially enterprise accounts, aggregating all the trends, the data collection aspect, the intent signals. And then for me as a salesperson, I could see myself logging into the CRM, seeing kind of like, hey, based on our product suite, it's going to recommend this cross-sell opportunity based on this trend that we're seeing. Can you help me understand, like, for my sales leadership or the marketers at my company, what would they be loading into the system to kind of marry together our product offering with that data collection and the intent signals?
Great question. So we can either ingest the collateral if you have HighSpot or any of the content libraries. We can ingest the collateral directly from there, or we provide a link for marketers to give us all the case studies collaterals. We can already scrape the website. So it's really easy. They just dump the documents, and then we start training the model.
Okay, super helpful. Well, appreciate it, Rahul. We're going to send you backstage, and then next we're bringing up, it is going to be Danny from Journey.
All right, thank you so much, Rahul. All right, and bringing Danny to the stage. Welcome, Danny.
Hello, hello. Let me share my screen. All righty. Yeah, thanks so much, Storylane team. And yeah, it's been fun just to listen to the other folks. My name is Danny Chu, and I'm with Journey.io. So I figured if I'm going to give a presentation of some sort, I should leverage Journey to do so. So you're going to maybe be sort of like Inception-esque. So you'll see Journey being used. I'll also show you how to build journeys here in a second via the demo. But yeah, sort of like what Justin did, I think for us, Journey, our goal is to create champion enablement. And I think for every salesperson or even every marketer or anybody that's sort of responsible for revenue generation, we understand the value of a champion. They're sort of the inroads to, whatever company you're selling to. They're the person that is going to evangelize your message and win over key stakeholders. And, but I also think that every salesperson knows sort of the pain of relying on your champion. And this is just a picture of kind of like a B2B sales process that I'm responsible for, that our team's responsible for. And even if you have, all the Zoom calls and even in-person conversations during your 6, 12, 18-month sales cycle, that total time that you spend interacting with them, data shows that it's often less than 5% of the decision-making time that your prospect is undergoing. So that other 95% of the time, you're sort of left a little bit in the dark. You've done your best to, qual and do all the necessary steps in your opportunity pipeline, but you're sort of waiting for an update. You're sort of, hoping for the best. And so Journey, we hope to solve that. And our goal is to help sales teams give their champions the resources and support that they need to really help them close more deals and generate revenue. So we're going to talk a little bit through kind of how we do that and why we think it's important. So practically speaking, Journey, our goal is to remove friction in your sales process. And I think AssetMule does this really well, as I've sort of played around with the tool before the demo. And for us, our goal is to empower your champions to sell with you. And that's very difficult when you're sending your prospect 10 links, 5 PDFs, several videos, and that's probably 5, 6, 7, 8 times throughout your 6-month sales cycle. So we're hoping to really aggregate a lot of those resources into a single repository and make it very easy for your prospects to sell alongside you throughout this process. So how do we do this? Well, our goal is to aggregate all of your assets together. That could be an AssetMule, that could be a Storylane demo, that could be your PDFs, your videos, case studies, all these great things that product marketing, and sales is already developing, and provide it in a very seamless manner. So we're going to take a look at that. I just threw this in there sort of like what a couple folks did, but you can very much embed and place things like a Storylane to make your asset, to make your journey very interactive and relevant to your prospect, which is super neat. So we'll jump into the main use case, which right now that we're seeing Journey is the sort of post-demo follow-up. And the cool story that I always like to tell is we have a customer that has sort of leveraged Journey to the point where they use the number of Journey views and how their prospect interacts with Journey as a part of their opportunity qualification process. So they know that if their stakeholders in their pipelines and in their prospect, if they're viewing their journey more than 3 times within a 7-day cycle at the proposal stage, the likelihood of that opportunity closing is 75%. And so they know and have leveraged Journey insights to be able to qualify their opportunities within their sales team's pipeline, which I think is a pretty neat story. But for us, I kind of want to walk through how to kind of go about building one of these journeys, because I think that's, part of the demo. So this is Journey here, and everything here is drag and drop. The fun thing about this tool, in my opinion, for sales and revenue generating teams is that you can integrate a lot of different things. So if you imagine that screenshot I sent you with those 5 links, the PDFs, the videos, our goal is to aggregate all of those resources to you here within Journey. So things like a mutual action plan, maybe that's important to you because you're able to communicate to your prospect what is upcoming within the sales process, and you want to communicate that. And you can embed those things directly into Journey by simply coming in here and dragging and dropping and building out your mutual action plan. Super easy. And I just gave you an example up here to do. Same thing with resources. Maybe for me, what I always like to do is I like to follow up with a Loom video that answers questions. Instead of sending them that Loom video, I'll include that in a Journey and embed it here under a section called resources. Maybe I have a PDF deck. I also just, while Justin was doing what he was doing, you can have a button that maybe goes to an AssetMule one-pager, for example. And then some really cool things that I think gets kind of the creative juices flowing with Journey is you're not sort of sequestered to static things, right? Because Journey is interactive, because you have the ability to iframe a lot of things. You can take, for example, like an ROI calculator that you built through Outcrow, or maybe you have something like a Storylane demo that you want to embed, or maybe you have a dashboard that communicates how your product provides ROI using analytics, and you have a dashboard that you want to actually embed and showcase to your prospect. You can very easily do that by simply coming in here and copying and pasting a link that we will automatically iframe. There's no code, no embed involved. All you got to do is simply drag and drop the link into Journey and make it easily available to you. Same thing with Gong. We have Gong integrations. So I'll showcase this here. Let's just say you have a Gong recording. You want to share it with your prospect. We have a Gong integration. So you upload it, and then you can even generate a quick summary of it. I already created one here, but I created it again. So it takes that video, we'll ingest it using AI and provide your prospect a very easy summary of whatever that call was and make it available for them to actually view. So just want to, I guess, go through that couple of things and showcase. The other thing too, and this is not me, but this is one of our partners from HubSpot. He let me showcase this because they use Chili Piper, but you can even embed things like your Chili Piper link, your Calendar link, your cal.com link, your HubSpot meetings link. And obviously that call to action is really important if you are looking to sell. So that's a quick overview. And again, what's really nice about all of this is it's personalized. So you are able to customize, for example, when you share that link, maybe you have a thumbnail, you're sending a LinkedIn message or something like that with this journey because you're focusing on maybe top of the funnel stuff. You can customize your thumbnail, customize the URL. You can use your custom domain. And there's a lot of kind of customization that you can do that I'm happy to talk through about if you guys are interested. But that's a quick overview of what Journey does in the most prominent use case. And I don't know if I have a couple of minutes here, but I do want to show you a couple of other really fun things that our customers are doing with Journey. Do I have a couple of minutes?
Yeah, you have until 43 after.
Okay, perfect. So outside of the post demo follow-up, the other thing that we're seeing Journey used for is just signals, right? And I think as salespeople, as people who are trying to close deals, signals is something that is really important for us because it gives us some sort of leverage to participate in the buyer's decision-making process. And that could be at the very top of the funnel when you're prospecting, when you're doing outreach. That could be when they're actually in the sales process, like I showed you with the post-demo follow-up journey. And that could even be, during kind of the negotiation phase. But one thing that we're really seeing that's been really fun is kind of how Journey is being sprinkled in throughout the customer lifecycle. And this is just something that's been really interesting to see that we actually took from a customer. So, for PLG tools, they track usage behavior, and oftentimes that usage behavior, triggers something like, hey, leave us a review and, get a $15 gift card. Instead of just sending like a generic email, one of our customers, and we, sort of asked permission to use this, they built a journey for that. And at the very bottom, just to make it really fun and interactive, instead of just saying, hey, we'll give you, a $10 gift card, or hey, we'll send you a shirt, they built something very interactive where you just spin this wheel and, they take a screenshot, the customer takes a screenshot of it. And then it just makes it a lot more interactive. And that's the whole premise, I think, with Journey is that, throughout the sales process, the opportunity to provide a very personalized buyer-centric experience, whether you're at the top of the funnel doing outreach via LinkedIn, or whether, you're trying to, get ready to close them and hand them off to customer success. Our goal at Journey is to enable you, the kind of revenue generating team, to really care and build a relationship with your prospects through kind of these buyer-centric experiences. So I'll stop here. I don't know if there's questions or anything like that, but happy to answer them.
Yeah, that was great, Danny. So we have a question from Akshika saying, can the share links be personalized for different users in Journey? And a question from me is thinking about whenever I create a champion, typically they might be below the line an end user, and they have to elevate to an economic buyer above the line. Is there, like, let's say you're navigating an enterprise, and once you get to that economic buyer kind of at a VP or director level, can you create like a custom journey for them? Because the tabs and the assets that they want to see are going to be different than your champion that might be below the line. So could you speak to like personalization, creating multiple different versions as you continue multi-threading and creating champions in the org?
Yes, good question. I'll answer your question first, if you don't mind, Jackson, just because it's sort of top of mind. So Journey can be, like you said, sort of a singular narrative, but it also could be sort of a hub for a lot of different journeys. So for example, this is not a good one, but this is my email signature. But basically what you could do is create, a journey that sort of is your hub of journeys. So if you have an enterprise account, what you can do is basically create sort of these buttons and link them to other journeys that are relevant specific to that stakeholder that might be the CFO. And what you can do is either link journeys within a centralized journey to the relevant stakeholders, or every single stage or step in a journey here has its own unique URL. So what we often see is these links will be sent to the specific relevant stakeholder. So journeys often can be 20, 30, 40 steps. And so if the CFO is only interested in steps 5 through 10, you can send a link that specifically speaks to those sections. So that way that CFO isn't having to sift through all the other 25, 35 different steps, but they're specifically inundated with the ones that they're responsible for. So that would be kind of how a couple of ways that you could sort of personalize and kind of multi-prong your journeys. You can either create it as a central hub, create a journey as a central hub, or you can kind of copy and leverage the unique links per step.
Okay, that's super helpful. And to Akshika's question, when I take steps 5 through 10 and send it off to the CFO, am I able to format that and put it to their email and get engagement data, how many times they click on it?
Yeah, so you'd have to create a unique journey for that. And the way that you would personalize those things, so what you can do is, so you can create as many unique links as you want. So, if you wanted to create one link that, maybe removes some of the other things that are irrelevant to the CFO, you can do so, and you can personalize it and say, hey, this is for the CFO. And then maybe, you specifically want to access control them and make them require an email, because you just want to make sure, it's not getting shared into irrelevant parties, or maybe you want to password protect it because there's specific financials that are relevant to that CFO. So you can kind of customize how that access looks. And then definitely from an insights perspective, you can track kind of, what things look like, how engagement looks. So everything right now is anonymous because I'm not requiring an email. But if there was a requirement for an email, we would track who they are. And we have an integration to be able to go out and get company data, person level data, and different things like that, where you can actually see how much time did they spend and who they actually are from a company and person level perspective.
Okay, perfect. Yeah, thanks for addressing that question. And great demo, Danny. We're going to take you backstage, and then finishing us out is going to be Allan from Chili Piper.
All right, welcome, Allan. Thank you, Danny.
Thank you, Chantal. Thank you, Jackson. And thank you, Storylane, for the opportunity. So my name is Allan. I'm a customer success manager here at Chili Piper. I want to be able to talk about our product, specifically our form concierge and our handoff. So for those who may not know who Chili Piper is, we provide your scheduling and managing meetings with focus on doubling your conversion, as well as stopping leaky funnels. So with Chili Piper, we're able to assist your top of the funnel journey from, let's say, your SDR team to your AE team with web form submissions, all the way through being able to book a demo with one of your sales specialists. What I want to share with you all is what a prospect would see when they first go through and fill out your form. So as you can see here, this is our quick demo page, test demo page. When a prospect goes and enters in their information, what we want to do is make sure we use Chili Piper to help qualify the prospect. So in our particular case, CRM is important because we work with Salesforce and HubSpot. And in regards to company size, will help us determine which market segment we'll want to work with. So in this particular example, I'm going to use the 51 to 250. Hitting submit will now trigger Chili Piper to determine which queue, how we group our team together, we want to route to. And I'm going to just choose a future date, let's say May 1st. I'm able to see the availability of all the team members, and based on who is next in our round robin, when I make the selection and book time, I am now assigned with one of our team members. So it's a very simple process. The great feature that Chili Piper has is we work with any type of web form. So if you use Webflow, Marketo, HubSpot, or Eloqua, we'll be able to integrate easily and seamlessly with any of those forms. To give you a little view of how everything will look like within Chili Piper, I'm going to take you to our dashboard page. And as you can see, This is the reports page where you can look at all the entries. I'm going to refresh this page so that we can look at the recent entry. And as you can see here, I've just placed in an entry. Hovering over this section, I'll be able to review all the values that Chili Piper is capturing. This little green icon will tell me which meeting queue the prospect had qualified for, and showing the details to confirm the date and time of the meeting and the title of the meeting. The dashboard will also do the same, where you can review a lot of your information. So clicking onto this, we'll be able to look at the date and time of each meeting here, the detail of the meeting. Chili Piper has the ability to send reminders for your to your prospects. So this way we make sure the meetings coming up is top of mind. And we automatically write events into your Salesforce instance. Within this section, let's say for some reason the prospect decides to decline, you can cancel or reassign the meeting to someone else. So this is the view of the dashboard and reports where you can easily see post submission. With Chili Piper itself, we want to make sure it's simple to build everything out for you to use on your page. And everything is connected through what we call your inbound router. This is how we determine what fields on your form that we're going to be mapped to using your form mapping. And in regards to the different queues or rules that we want to qualify for, we can create two different main type of queues, which is one, ownership. If the lead or your contact has been owned by someone previously, we'll be able to route to their calendar directly. We are also able to create queues with rules where we round robin to groups of individuals based on the different market segments. And the last grouping is our queues with rules. So if, let's say, we want to make sure we show everyone a calendar, we can set up one grouping where there's no rules and anyone can qualify for, and they will be mapped accordingly. Speaking towards the meeting queues itself, the different algorithms that I've mentioned is the ownership, where we prioritize on looking for the owners, and the rule setting the rules is very simple, where we look at your object, or if you're in HubSpot, your object in HubSpot as well, the contact or company. And in this case, we're looking for account owners and lead owner. And if either one of these are satisfied, we will qualify for the rule. So it's simple as saying, if the email of the owner matches the email of the assignees in this group, we will evaluate to this rule. The other type of algorithm is the advanced round robin, where you can create very intricate rules. And in our case, we're looking for company size and CRM, and based on the object, we'll be able to use the rule logic to make sure that they're qualified accordingly. In your Salesforce, we can simply see information. So right now, the contact owner is shown as Aaron Wallace. So if I refresh this page, because I've booked a meeting with Jen, this will automatically update to Jen as the contact owner. It'll give me the easy ability to go into activity, look for any upcoming meetings, and clicking into the meetings, I'll be able to look at additional information. Chili Piper gives you the ability to write into custom fields where you can create customized reporting. So in this case, we'll be able to see who the meeting was assigned to. Again, the queue that they qualified for. Meeting type is another way we labeled invitations for the meetings, and which router or which format they came in through. We capture when a meeting is canceled, as well as when there's no show. So if there's automation or cadences and sequences you want to build out when someone doesn't show, Chili Piper integrates with, are able to use other Salesloft or Outreach to help those type of sequences. Now, this is all done through our Form Concierge licensing, and makes it very convenient where your team doesn't have to do as many outreach. We prevent any instance where there won't be will be missed opportunities, because we are able to have them book time with your team immediately. Now, with another product we call Handoff, gives you the ability with our Chili Piper extension to be able to book within your Salesforce instance. So if the SDR feels that this person is a great lead and we want to now forward them to your AEs, clicking this little button here will pull up what we call Instant Booker tool. And based on the rules that we've created, which can be separate from your inbound router, your phone concierge, we can qualify for different rule set as well. So as you can see, I am mapped to Dale. I'm able to see their available times. Another feature we have with Chili Pepper in this, if let's say we want to invite someone else to the call that's internal, like a solution engineer, selecting their name here, we can see the overlay of when they're busy versus when the solution engineer is busy. So if we need to look for a time where both parties are available, we'll be able to select straight from the calendar. If we want to make available for the earliest person, we can use the show availability for all feature within our instant booker. And this will overlap everyone's availability. And when selecting time, it will show who we've paired with, and we can easily book the meeting with this individual. Oh, always great when something goes wrong during a demo. Apologize for that. And once this meeting is booked, within Salesforce, we'll be able to update and see who the new owner is as well. One other feature with Chili Pepper, with our extensions, we are able to use a feature what we call suggested times. It's as simple as a feature that works within your Gmail or Outlook. As long as we have an email address using our extension, you'll be able to send times to a prospect instead of waiting for them to reach back out and having a back and forth to understand what time or when will work best. Let's say the prospect is in Eastern time. What we can do is using the calendar picker tool, instead of a very specific time, I can select several options. And once I hit insert, we'll be able to offer static times for them to select within a one-click booking sequence. This will help your prospects not have to have constant emails going back and forth to find the perfect time for everyone to connect. And if none of those times work, we do give a dynamic field button where they can actually choose a time that will work best for them on the full user's calendar availability. At this point, I would like to open up for any questions you may have.
Fantastic. Jackson, what do you got?
Yeah, so my question is, the features are great. The functionalities, I could see it applying to so many use cases, for me as a salesperson, for every company out there. But if you had to kind of summarize the business case for that, that sales team that is still doing kind of manual meeting routing, they're just kind of like pushing it over, or just a general round robin with a more basic tool, what do you think is like the biggest advantage of going with a tool like Chili Pepper?
Absolutely, great question. So with Chili Pepper, a lot of our clients have sales teams who use a spreadsheet to find out who's next in the queue, or understanding, okay, let me look at their calendar, and having to juggle multiple tools just to build a right time to meet with a prospect. And Chili Pepper gives the ability to have all of that within one tool set itself. So to our feature tool, such as Handoff, will give the capability where if we need to determine which market segment or which product your prospect is primarily interested in, they can automatically see the group of individuals whose calendar will be available at specific time, and make sure that your team will be able to book with those individuals in a very timely manner.
Yeah, definitely having the logic set up to where, based on their grouping, you can know this product suite, this vertical, this company size is going to salesperson A versus salesperson B, and they're not going to have to transfer it later. Definitely.
Exactly.
Amazing. Well, for everyone who's still with us, any final questions, feel free to drop them in the chat. Otherwise, we can wrap things up. And I can't believe that everything went on time today. I'm so amazed. That's major shout outs to all of our presenters who were totally on it. Like, you must have practiced. I can't believe it. So great. Okay, cool. I think we can wrap up. Allan, I'm going to send you backstage. Thank you so much. For everyone who, I need to send the Chili Pepper demo link so everyone can take a look at their interactive demo. Awesome. Yeah, thank you all for joining so much. Keep an eye out for an email from the Storylane team. We're going to send all these interactive demos to you, so don't worry if you didn't get to look at one. And yeah, please check out all the tools that we demoed today. And if it's helpful for you, request a demo. I'm sure they would love to talk to anyone who was on this call. So thanks again. Thank you, Jackson.
Thanks, everybody.
All right, everybody. Take care.